It was spring of 1968. I was a senior at James B. Dudley High School in Greensboro, North Carolina. And at that particular time, I was feeling all emotional. I was feeling bitter, sometimes angry, sometimes feeling like, no, I don't want to feel like that. I want to be hopeful. I want to do good. I want to move forward. You see, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had been killed a few weeks ago, and we were all left feeling some kind of way. Everything seemed so uncertain all of a sudden. So I decided I needed something to focus on. So I decided I'm going to get me a job. I'd been thinking about getting me a job ever since I'd been in high school, but I never went to really get a real job. I'd had some small jobs like cleaning people's houses, washing clothes, babysitting, but never anything that I call a real job. So I decided now was the time because I really liked the idea of having my own money. So I saw in the paper where Tex and Shirley's Pancake House was looking for a waitress. Now, I'd never been a waitress before, but I had heard that waitresses get tips. And that sounded like a good thing to me. So I went down and I applied for that job. When I got down there, I met Miss Shirley. I thought Miss Shirley was a very nice looking white woman. And she had jet black hair that she piled on her head. Now, you would think that would look real funny, somebody piling their hair all on their head. I don't know how she got that hair to stay up there, but it was just all kind of turned in and piled up on her head. I thought it looked real good on her. And I remember that day she was wearing a red and white checkered shirtwaist dress. You know, shirtwaist at the top and gathered at the waist when flowed out. To this day, my favorite dress is the shirtwaist dress. I thought she looked real good that day, and I liked her. She had a real heavy southern drawl, but I liked Miss Shirley. And I think Miss Shirley liked me too because she hired me. Now, those were the days, mind you, when you didn't have to go through or jump through a lot of hoops to get a job, background check, credit check, all this stuff. How many jobs have you had? Where's your experience? Can I call your previous employers? If they liked you, it seemed like they just hired you. So I was hired to work at Tex and Shirley's Pancake House, and I was so thrilled. Now, before I left, she did say, at this very moment, I don't need a waitress. She said, what I need at this moment is I need a bus person. Will you be a bus girl? But the next time I need a waitress, you're going to be my new waitress. And I said, yes, ma'am, Miss Shirley. And I started working at Tex and Shirley's Pancake House. I'd never even been in Tex and Shirley's Pancake House until I started working there. In fact, I don't remember eating at any restaurant. No, I can't recall any restaurant we ever ate at. There were a couple of reasons for that. First, there was Jim Crow laws, okay, so there weren't a lot of places we could go when we were growing up. Second, that would have been a really big added expense for a family of 6 to eat out. And third, my mother had convinced everybody nobody's cooking was better than hers, so there was no need in going all around town trying to find some food that was going to be better than her food. So we never ate out. But I was so proud to be working there. I was the only bus girl. The other bus people were bus boys. But I was the cleanest, the fastest, the most courteous, and the most on time. I was a wonderful bus girl. While I was being a bus girl there, it was only a few days past that I saw a new waitress come. And I tried not to think anything about it. I said maybe she had already been promised a job before Miss Shirley met me. But I know the next time when they need a waitress, Miss Shirley is going to let me be the next waitress. Then a few weeks passed, and I heard Miss Shirley having a conversation with this woman. They were standing close to a table that I was bussing. And I could tell from the conversation they were having that that lady Miss Shirley was talking to was going to be our new waitress. Well, When that lady left and Miss Shirley went back to her office, I went into Miss Shirley's office. And I was trying to hold back the tears. My eyes were all watery, and I thought, well, maybe I just misunderstood something. And I said, Miss Shirley, I thought I was going to be your next waitress if you needed a waitress. And Miss Shirley stood up and she looked up at the ceiling. She looked down at the floor. She looked out the window. And while she was looking out the window, she said, I don't think my customers are ready yet. I don't think my customers are ready for... She didn't even have to finish the sentence. I knew what she meant. Her customers were not ready for a Negro waitress. I wasn't angry at Miss Shirley. I really wasn't. I'm not to this day. I still have fond memories of Miss Shirley. I was angry at the world. What world is this? I thought. About a month or so later, I graduated from James B. Dudley High School. Now I had the whole summer before me before I would be going away to college. And I decided I want to have me a real job. So I saw in the paper where this place called Hot Shops was hiring waitresses. So I went over and I applied at Hot Shops to be a waitress. By now I had restaurant experience. They hired me right on the spot to be a waitress. I started the next day. My shift was 6 o'clock in the morning till 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I loved it. I loved being a waitress. And you know what? My very first job I ever had when I got to New York City was I was a waitress at Howard Johnson's down on 6th Avenue in the Village. Oh, I loved it. And you know what? Tips really are a very good thing.